Hey, shalom, YouTube, saints of the Most High Yah. This is Sister Kate, and I would like to talk to you today about the after effects of Hurricane Irma and Hurricane Harvey, and how off-grid living can actually be an example and have tips and pointers for those people who have gone through those emergencies, and really any emergency. So I wanted to start with my own mother lives near in northern Florida, and right now she's without power. She's 81 years old. Now my mom's tough. She's been through typhoons, she's been through earthquakes, she's been in foreign countries, and I talked to her before the storm came, and I gave her my suggestions, and they started to prep because my younger brother's in that area too, and he's her helper. And so they put up water, and they bought her a propane hot plate so she can cook food. But she already had canned goods and dried goods that she could eat, and she was ready. She lived in tropical places before for heat and so on. And I taught her how to shoot, so she's, prepared to defend herself if she needs to be. But, they're saying Miami, it could take weeks to get their power back. And that made me think, like, I've been living without power for 4 years. It's doable, and there's ways to make it not so horrible. So what I've got are tips and pointers for this emergency type situations when you're out of power and how these things could help you. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is heat. It's going to be hot. Everyone in those areas has air conditioning all day long, and now they're not going to be with any power. They're not going to have any air conditioning or fans or anything like that. And so how are they going to deal with the heat? They don't have ice in the refrigerators because the power's not on. So here's one of my suggestions right here, is this little battery-powered fan. Got this at China Mart. This one's a 2D cell. They also sell one that's an 8D cell that's bigger. When it's hot at night, having this guy blowing on you can make a huge difference in how you sleep. And that would mean you'd have to have batteries or some way to recycle or recharge batteries in order to keep that thing going. So my other suggestion for the heat of the day is, if you can help it, don't work then. Get up and do your stuff early in the day or later on in the day when it's cooler, and do the siesta thing in the middle of the day if you have that option. I mean, not everyone's going to be able to go to work because work's going to be without power too. And you know what I'm saying? Like, we're kind of in survival mode here. So that's my suggestions on heat. In our area, there's other ways. Like, we have shade. Shade is 15 degrees cooler than the regular temperature. So if you have shade, use the shade. Stay in the shade. Also, going underground is cooler. That's what root cellars and stuff are for, or spring houses. But in Florida, you've got such a high water table that I don't think anyone there has any option of having a basement or a cool off area. So you gotta go do things at night or early morning. So then we're going to talk about the food. Without your refrigerator and your freezer, and that's all going to go bad, all that food, unless you can it. Do you know how to can? Do you have a canner? Canning it is the way to take care of all that stuff that's thawing out. You should have dried food and canned goods. And if you're a off-gridder, these are the kind of things that are part of this lifestyle. If you're a homesteader, this is sort of the things you're getting into. And so I just wanted to show you a few examples of the kind of stuff I've already got sitting around my house. This is greens. Collard greens, Swiss chard, good for you. Just because you have to eat dehydrated or canned stuff doesn't mean it has to be all potatoes. This can be dropped into any soup, salad, flavor meat, not salad, vegetable dish, whatever that you're heating up. You can put that in there, and you're adding protein and vitamins and minerals. If you look over here, I just wanted to show you, like, how valuable would this be right now to those people? It's not going to get wet because it's in a jar, and this feeds a lot. Like, a half cup of food will feed, it turns into a cup of rice. A half cup of dried rice becomes a cup of rice. So this would feed, 10 people at least one meal. And then on the food front also, for off-gridders and homesteaders, what if you had a goat and you had made sure the goat survived the storm, brought him in your house with you or whatever? You can be drinking this the very next day. Fresh goat milk, and the same thing with chickens. You could be eating those today and not having to pay for them. Well, Sister Kate, I live in the city. It's got zoning. They won't allow me to have those things. Well, then do one of two things. Either get in there and get on your city council and change your zoning. Lots of cities are now zoning so that people can have 4, 6, 10 chickens. Or leave. Get out of the cities. That's what my pastor husband has been telling people to do for years. So that's another tip from me to you. All right, so if you're going to cook, because think about it, most people have electric range or microwave. How are you going to cook your food now that there's no electricity? Well, you got a lot of options, and lots of people do these things anyway. It's just the mindset to get them to change. You grill. Oh, there's an option. Most people have charcoals or those big gas propane stove things. If you thought ahead, you brought that into your house, or you put it somewhere where it wouldn't get damaged, like your garage or something. And you can cook on those things. You can also make a fire in your backyard. Just cook over fire. People have been doing it for thousands of years, and the food tastes fine. Even if you have to put it in a pot and warm it up over a fire, guess what? That works. All right, so now we're going to talk about water, because the water around there is going to be polluted. So storing the water beforehand would have been the best thing for these people to do, and it's how we've been living for 4 years. We store water in containers, and these containers are heavy duty. They're meant to store liquids in, and you can, buy the juice, drink it. You can have as much water as you need. Every person needs at least a gallon of water a day. You can have tons of these things somewhere, under your guest bed, in your closets, wherever. And then you would be able to drink that. If you haven't done that, then you're going to have to boil the snot out of that water and filter it through something like a pillowcase. Now, I wanted to talk about the electric too, because I think what most people are going to do, I put myself in this situation. They're going to go out and start their cars, and they're going to charge up their phones using their car battery in their car. I get it, but it's not the easiest way to deal with this situation. And again, we've been living this way for 4 years. So what do you do about electric? Well, here's number one. See those? Those things are portable. You can move them around. You can store them somewhere, take the whole setup down, move it, wait for the storm to pass, set it back up, boom, you have power. We have enough power there to run a air conditioner if we wanted, a washing machine if we wanted, a vacuum cleaner, a blender, all during the day when it's sunny. And it's sunny in Florida, come on now. So that would have been the way to get ready for this, or have a generator. But a generator makes a lot of noise, and you have to have the power to fuel it. These guys make no noise. There is no noxious gas given off by the generator. And they're going to work for a long, long time. And on a smaller note, anybody could have one of these. This is made by Goal Zero, and it's called a notepad or notebook solar charger. And here's one, same thing, made by Harbor Freight. This costs half of what this does. This one doesn't last as long, but they will charge lots of things. Like here's a 4 battery pack. You can set this out in the sun, like I've got it hooked up right now, and it will charge that up, and you've got 4 charges off of it. It'll also charge the littler batteries. This one's charging up right now, and I've got multiple varieties of these batteries, right? They come in all shapes and sizes. So from that pack, from this thing right here, so Tim the solar guy gave me this AA battery recharger. So if I have recyclable AA batteries, which I do, I can hook this up to that little panel, and it will charge that during the day, and boom, I've got power. And some of the things that'll run off that power is, a little personal fan. It's not huge, but if you had no power at all and it's 80, 90, 100 degrees, this makes a huge difference. Something else that you can power off that panel is the battery that goes in this super bright headlamp. Yep, they made this thing. This is a really good thing. The WowTac that ThruNite sent Pastor Joe to do a review of can be recharged with one of those little panels right there. So boom, you have light, whether the power's on or off. We have other little lanterns. I should have brought one of those out. But there are battery-powered lanterns. You've seen them. They're Coleman lanterns. They, you know, there's LED lanterns now. It runs off of 2 AA batteries. You have a recharger. You can have light in your house for the duration of this thing. So these are just some of the tips that off-gridders can offer to people in emergencies. These products, Goal Zero, ThruNite, and these guys make good stuff. That's my tips. It's from us to you all, and I'm hoping and I'm praying that people watch the video, get these ideas, and get themselves prepped. There's enough videos out here talking about prepping food, emergency supplies, construction supplies, first aid stuff, your valuables, everything. I hope people are watching them, and I hope those people in Miami and places where these hurricanes came through are getting some sort of relief, because wow, that was something else. All right, bless you. Shalom.